It's a different one because it has happened so early. I think this was a card that, this was a joker that Ruto was keeping close to his chest to use it right before 2027 elections for realignments, but he had to pull it out because of the chaos. So if his government took 20 months, so I don't see us going another 20 months. And that's why I'm telling people to mark this. There will be another major earthquake. Raila single-handedly destroyed KANU, and KANU never recovered from the time when Raila destroyed it. Yeah, elections used to be like that, and Moi would decide who's the winner in whatever constituency, because it would be determined. And who are the IEBC of those days? It was the chief's office. And who appoints the chief? It comes from the office of the president.
So I was telling somebody, to add to your point, I was like, right now, many people think that Vasco Danganya amewa chapa checkmate.
Checkmate, yeah.
Bado unaweza sema amewa chapa check.
So the way I look at this, like when I look at this in the context of previous handshake, or this one they're calling it broad-based government, whatever the hell that means. But the
inamaanisha ni Broadways imepakwa nini, imepakwa blue band.
The one unique thing about this handshake that a lot of people are not paying attention to is how early it came compared to previous ones. When Raila did a handshake with Moi was almost going out of power. It was, I think, in 2001. Moi was almost going out. I think it was almost 2002, the election year, when Raila did a handshake with Kibaki. It was after the election of the first term, so it was in Kibaki's second term. When Raila did a handshake with Uhuru, it was towards the end of Uhuru's term, in the second term. But now this handshake with Ruto has come so early, within 20 months of Ruto being sworn in. What does this tell you? It tells you, because usually these marriages, they usually don't have the temerity to last for a long time. So that means there will be another implosion. I want you guys to record this moment for when the next implosion comes, because 3 years is a very long time. 3 years is a very long time. So this marriage will not survive 3 years, because typically these kinds of marriages, they're usually towards an election. And remember, the last marriage to have an implosion was the one between Raila and Moi. For those who remember what happened at that time,
02 or 03. That one 02.
No, not 03. No, it was, I think it was either 2001. It was before. It was because
that
election
was before 02. That was
before.
Yeah, that was before.
Election was in
election.
2002.
That's what I meant.
Election was in 2002.
Yes.
I can't remember the exact date and the exact. It was somewhere either in 2001 or early, somewhere early 2002.
It was 01. It was 01.
So what happened
early
is
2001, because you remember Raila came in, and then Raila was given the SG position, which was something very unheard of in KANU at that time.
Raila was even given a ministry. He was given the ministry.
Yeah, he was given a ministry, and then he was given SG. But the SG is what people saw that, okay, now that he's come as an SG, is that when people are like, whoa. All the KANU diehards were like, so is he going to be given the
succession?
The
mantle. Yeah. So I think, like each one of them was trying to outmaneuver the other. Raila was trying to outmaneuver Moi, and Moi was trying to outmaneuver Raila, because by bringing in Raila, Moi calmed down the temperatures, but I don't think he ever had the intention of giving the mantle to Raila. So when Raila realized that this mantle is not being given to him, he bolted out of that alliance. And when he bolted out with people from KANU. I mean, Raila single-handedly destroyed KANU and KANU never recovered from the time when Raila destroyed it. Yeah. So
I think Moi's game plan, Ali, was more of like he was gonna bring Raila close, take Raila away from building himself as a candidate, because if Raila would have built himself as a candidate, he was gonna basically be a problem for whoever Moi was gonna who was gonna come after Moi. Raila would have beaten Uhuru clean if they had gone head to head. So when he delayed Raila leaving, and the other candidates had already showed their position, and even NAC was not that strong. So what Moi, I think, was hoping was that Raila was going to run for himself with the people that he had, Kina Wamalu, Kina Nani, the people that he had behind him that were backing him. And Moi was hoping that Raila was going to split the opposition vote.
Yes.
And allow Uhuru to pass katikati yao and Penye.
Yes, that was the plan.
What Moi didn't realize was when Raila said Kibaki, was that Raila will pull back and say Kibaki tosha.
Yes, because Raila.
And that messed up KANU kabisa.
Yes, actually, before Raila said Kibaki tosha, he was supposed to merge with a party called Ford People. Ford People was Simeon Nyachai. Yes. So that would have split the vote. That would have evenly split the vote three-way, and Uhuru would have pitted katikati, because that's how Moi won the 92 elections. If you Google the results of the 92 elections, because remember, before 2010 constitution, there was no requirement of 50% plus one. It was whoever won, whoever had the majority votes. You did not have to have whoever had plurality won. You didn't have to have majority 50% plus one.
Wasn't it still Mlolongo?
No.
That was 97.
No.
Mlolongo
so it was not Mlolongo.
Party nominations.
So Mlolongo was not. It was KANU nomination.
It was actually KANU nominations.
KANU nominations, because I remember, participating in one. Back in those days, we were the guys on the ground. Who were getting paid in case things get ugly.
You are the men in black.
In case things get ugly. So there was one time I remember there was some KANU nominations that were happening at Nyayo Stadium, and then there was this candidate who clearly had a longer line, and she was winning. This was for a civic seat, and this is something live that I was right there. So the role I had, because I was,
were you dressed in black?
No, I wasn't dressed in black. So at that time, I was just following instructions. So there was a bunch of people who we were supposed to kind of facilitate.
Disrupt.
No, we were supposed to facilitate so that in case disruption is needed, they're ready. And unfortunately, that's how Kenyan politics used to run. So I did see this candidate. She was clearly the more popular candidate. The line was longer. As the shorter line was counted, as this other one was being counted, and this one's clearly knew that they're gonna be defeated. Suddenly, a bunch of people walitokea na manyaunyo. They were just right there. Some of them on the line walitokea na manyaunyo, and they start whipping everyone. Now, if you start seeing people being whipped, what do? You run. So the people on the other shorter line were not being whipped. So they had already been instructed that whips zitatoka, but nyi msitoke kwa line. So on this other line, people are being whipped. They've run.
And
so
the
shorter line. No, so the shorter line, the people are still there.
Got it. So the other one is disrupted, so you can't count them.
So the other one is disrupted, they can't be counted. So now when people, and once, you've unleashed whips, if they're women, they're younger, they're not good, they're not coming back. So that's how nominations used to work. Elections used to be like that before 1992. Before 1992 multipartyism. For those who don't remember.
I remember. That's why I said what I said.
Yes. So elections used to be like that, and Moi would decide who's the winner in whatever constituency, because it would be determined. And who are the IEBC of those days? It was the chief's office. And who appoints the chief? It comes from the office of the president. Yeah. So it was a very, very messed up
damned if
process.
You do, damned if you don't.
Yeah. If you do, damned if you don't. Slay is asking if this actually, what year this was.
Oh my
Mlolongos were there until 2002, because after 92, they stopped Mlolongos in the general elections, but KANU nominations was still, because in the 90s, KANU still had some clout. So, because Moi was still president. So, KANU nominations were still being done using mlolongos, the most corrupt. And then general elections used to be done with ballot boxes that were black like a blackboard. So, like the way nowadays we have transparent ballot boxes, you can see all the whatevers. So now those ones, they used to be black. So what happens, they come stuffed with Moi's votes. Because ikifika kwa polling station, it's black. You don't see what's inside. So you go vote, mnaona, like we voted this other guy, but Moi ends up getting more votes because the ballot box was already stuffed beforehand. And guess who's been using that tactic more recently? Tanzania. Magufuli's election, where he won 99% ballot stuffing. That's what they were doing. And next year, Tanzania has an election. Let's wait to see, like what's going to happen. Bandio will give us an update on that. So we are in a space where now, with this, coming back to this handshake, it's a different one because it has happened so early. I don't think, I think this was a card that, this was a joker that Ruto was keeping close to his chest to use it right before 2027 elections for realignments, but he had to pull it out because of the chaos. So if his government took 20 months, so I don't see us going another 20 months. And that's why I'm telling people to mark this. There will be another major earthquake, political earthquake. And this earthquake might involve Raila fishing Ruto's people, like he did with Moi's people. Because remember, when Raila left KANU, he left with Kalonzo.
But
he left with Saitoti. He left with all the major people. The only person who remained back was Mudavadi, and he was given VP for a couple of months.